every day, you wake up with a choice to stay the same or to grow just a little more. The truth is, success isn't built overnight. It's built inch by inch, choice by choice, day by day. You don't have to change your entire life in a week. You just have to improve by 1% today. 1% might sound small, but think about it. 1% every day for a year means you've grown 7 times stronger. Not because of luck, not because of chance, but because you made a daily decision to get better when others stayed the same. You don't need to take giant leaps. You just need consistent steps. Read one more page. Wake up 10 minutes earlier. Push yourself one more rep. Speak one word of encouragement to yourself instead of one word of doubt. Small improvements compound into massive results. Winners aren't born. They are built quietly, slowly, consistently. When no one's clapping, when no one's watching, that's when real growth happens. It's not about perfection, it's about progression. You might fail, stumble, or lose focus, but every time you rise again, you become a little better, a little stronger, a little wiser. Ask yourself, what can I do today to be 1% better? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because the small things you do daily shape the person you become permanently. So don't chase instant change. Chase daily growth. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start with what you have. The future belongs to those who are disciplined enough to show up every single day and do the small things that matter. 1% may not impress the world today, but it will transform your world tomorrow. Keep going, keep growing, and watch your small improvements build an unstoppable version of you. Small steps create big change. It's one of the most powerful truths you can live by. People often overestimate what they can do in a short time and underestimate what they can accomplish through consistent, small progress. The idea of improving yourself by just 1% every day may sound simple, almost too small to matter. But that 1%, compounded over time, transforms everything. It's not the size of the step that matters. It's the consistency of taking it. Success isn't a giant leap taken once. It's 1,000 small steps taken with intention. When you look at someone who has achieved greatness, it's easy to assume they made one big move that changed everything. But behind every success story are the small, hidden efforts no one saw. It's the daily discipline, the quiet choices, the persistent habits. A small change might not show results today or tomorrow, but given time, it becomes the foundation of transformation. Just as one drop of water can't carve a rock, but thousands over time can shape valleys, your small actions can redefine your destiny. Improvement is not about perfection. It's about direction. Each small decision either pushes you forward or pulls you backward. Every time you choose growth over comfort, every time you do one more repetition, read one more page, or speak one more kind word, you are shifting your trajectory. These moments may seem insignificant, but they're the building blocks of mastery. The greatest performers, thinkers, and leaders in history didn't wake up excellent. They got there by making the right small choices consistently. Think of the power of compounding. 1% progress each day for a year doesn't equal 3. 165%, it equals a 37 times improvement. That's the power of accumulation. When you put in a little effort each day, you create momentum. Momentum is invisible at first. It feels slow, even frustrating. But as you keep moving, as you refuse to stop, that momentum becomes unstoppable. Suddenly, what once felt difficult becomes easy, and what once seemed impossible starts to feel natural. The secret is to fall in love with the process, not the outcome. People quit when they don't see fast results, but the results come to those who stay consistent when nothing seems to be happening. Every small action plants a seed. You may not see growth immediately, but beneath the surface, something is taking root. Keep watering it with effort, and in time it will break through the soil and flourish. Growth is often silent before it becomes visible. You don't need to make dramatic changes overnight. You just need to start. Start where you are, with what you have, and take one small step today. The gym session you do today may not change your body instantly, but it changes your mindset. The extra page you read doesn't make you a genius, but it builds your habit of learning. The kind word you speak doesn't transform the world, but it shapes your character. Over time, these small moments compound into greatness. Big change begins in the smallest moments of decision. The moment you choose discipline over laziness, faith over fear, persistence over doubt. Those moments are where the future is built. 1% improvement may seem like nothing today, but it's everything tomorrow. Keep stacking small wins, and you'll wake up one day realizing you've built a life that others only dream about. That's the power of steady growth, the power of small steps that create extraordinary change. Consistency beats intensity. The difference between those who dream and those who achieve lies not in bursts of energy, but in the steady rhythm of persistence. It's easy to get fired up for a moment, to push hard for a few days, or to make grand promises to yourself about change. But real transformation doesn't come from occasional intensity. It comes from daily consistency. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it, doing the work when motivation fades, and staying committed when progress seems slow. Intensity feels exciting at first. It's the spark that gets you started. But consistency is the flame that keeps you burning. Think of it this way. Anyone can run fast for a short distance, but only the consistent runner finishes the marathon. Success doesn't favor those who do everything at once. It favors those who build habits, one brick at a time. A single burst of effort can move you forward for a day, but daily discipline can move you forward for a lifetime. The problem is that most people chase results, not routines. They want transformation without repetition. They start with enthusiasm but stop when the excitement fades. But growth is rarely visible day by day. You won't see change every morning, yet every time you show up, you're strengthening your foundation. Even when results are hidden, the work you do behind the scenes is shaping your future. Every small, consistent effort compounds quietly until one day it erupts into visible success. Consistency is a mindset. It's the belief that progress is worth more than perfection. It means understanding that small steps count even when no one notices. The gym sessions, the study hours, the early mornings, the disciplined choices, all of it adds up. You may not feel the impact today, but you're building endurance, resilience, and identity. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted to keep going. That trust is where confidence is born. Intensity is emotional. Consistency is intentional. Intensity depends on how you feel. Consistency depends on your commitment. There will be days when motivation is low, when circumstances are hard, when progress feels invisible. Those are the days that separate the average from the exceptional. When you keep going, you strengthen your character. You teach yourself that effort matters more than excitement. The greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders understand this truth. Repetition is mastery. They don't just act when it's easy. They act because it's necessary. Life rewards persistence, not perfection. You can miss a day, stumble, or make mistakes. What matters is that you return. Showing up again and again creates momentum. It may seem slow, but it's unstoppable. Like drops of water shaping stone, small, consistent actions carve out greatness over time. Consistency turns chaos into clarity, dreams into habits, and habits into results. It doesn't demand perfection. It demands presence. When you focus on consistency, success stops being a distant goal and becomes a natural outcome. You no longer chase motivation. You create it through action. Every day you show up, you strengthen the muscle of discipline. And discipline will take you where motivation cannot. Whether it's your health, your career, your relationships, or your mindset, the secret is the same. Keep showing up. Even on your worst days, even when no one claps, even when you don't see progress, just show up. Because one day, all those quiet efforts will speak loudly. The world may see the results as sudden success, but you'll know the truth. It was consistency, not intensity, that made it happen. Progress over perfection. A simple phrase that carries the power to free you from the chains of fear and self-doubt. Too many people never start because they're waiting to be perfect. They want the perfect plan, the perfect moment, the perfect confidence before taking the first step. But perfection is an illusion that keeps you standing still. Progress, however small, is what moves you forward. Growth is not about being flawless. It's about being courageous enough to begin, to try, and to keep improving along the way. Perfection sounds noble, but in reality, it's a trap. It demands results without room for mistakes, but mistakes are the very tools of learning. Every master was once a beginner who was willing to be imperfect. Every expert stumbled before they succeeded. The difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck is not talent, but the willingness to make progress without the guarantee of perfection. You can refine a skill, shape a dream, and build confidence only through doing, not waiting. Progress is messy, unpredictable, and uncomfortable. It forces you to face your weaknesses and push through resistance. But that's exactly where transformation happens. When you stop fearing imperfection, you start creating movement. Each step, no matter how small, adds up. One imperfect action today is worth more than 1,000 perfect intentions that never happen. The person who keeps improving wins over the one who keeps planning forever. Progress is momentum, and momentum changes everything. We live in a world that celebrates polished results, but hides the process behind them. You see the finished product, the success, the recognition, the achievement, but not the long nights, the failures, the doubt, or the countless attempts that built it. Don't be deceived by appearances. Behind every strong person is a trail of imperfections they refused to be defined by. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They made progress in imperfect ones. That's what makes their story powerful. The pursuit of perfection creates pressure. It makes you anxious about failing, scared to experiment, and hesitant to grow. Progress, on the other hand, creates freedom. It gives you permission to start where you are. It reminds you that every attempt counts, that every lesson learned has value. When your focus shifts from perfection to progress, failure loses its power over you. You stop measuring yourself by how flawless you are and start valuing how far you've come. Progress builds confidence because it's something you can control. You can't control perfection, it's unreachable. But you can control effort, discipline, and consistency. You can look back each day and say, I did a little better than yesterday. That's real growth. Over time, small improvements compound into extraordinary results. What once felt impossible becomes second nature. And it all starts by choosing progress when perfection feels out of reach. It takes humility to accept that you'll never get everything right, but it takes courage to keep going anyway. The greatest victories often come through imperfection. You learn resilience when you fail. You gain wisdom when you make mistakes. You develop strength when you refuse to quit. Perfection doesn't teach you these things, progress does. So, keep moving forward, even if it's slow, even if it's messy. Don't let the need to be flawless rob you of the joy of becoming better. Celebrate effort, celebrate learning, celebrate small wins. Because every step forward, no matter how imperfect, is evidence that you're growing, evolving, and becoming the person you were meant to be. Progress will take you further than perfection ever could, because progress keeps you moving, while perfection keeps you waiting. Discipline in the dark is the mark of true greatness. It's easy to give your best when people are watching, when applause is loud, and when recognition is guaranteed. But the real test of character is what you do when no one sees. Growth doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in silence. It's the unseen hours, the private sacrifices, and the quiet decisions that shape who you become. The person who learns to stay committed in the dark is the one who shines the brightest when the light finally comes. Discipline is not glamorous. It's not about motivation or emotion. It's about devotion. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It's studying when you'd rather relax. It's practicing when no one is cheering. It's doing the right thing simply because it's right. The truth is, success demands consistency in secret before it ever shows results in public. The greatest athletes, artists, and leaders have something in common. They trained, prepared, and worked in isolation long before anyone knew their name. The dark seasons of life are not punishment, they are preparation. When it feels like no one notices your effort, that's when you're being refined. Growth doesn't always look exciting. It often looks repetitive, lonely, and quiet. But every small act of discipline builds strength. Every unnoticed effort is an investment in your future. The work you do when no one's watching is what gives you confidence when everyone finally is. The world sees the highlight, but God sees the grind. There's a powerful truth. You can't skip the hidden stage. Everyone wants the reward, but few are willing to endure the process. The process is where you build character. It's where you learn patience, endurance, and integrity. It's easy to perform when eyes are on you, but real growth demands doing the work without validation. That's when you discover who you truly are, when applause is gone, and it's just you, your purpose, and your willpower. Discipline in the dark teaches you to trust the process. Results might not come overnight. You might feel invisible, underappreciated, or even forgotten. But those seasons are not wasted. They're seasons of planting. You're sowing seeds of greatness that will bloom in their time. The quiet hours of training, learning, and staying consistent are shaping your destiny. Every moment of effort counts. One day, the very things you did in private will become the foundation for your public success. It's in the dark that you build resilience. When you choose discipline over comfort, you train your mind to stay strong under pressure. You teach yourself to rely not on motivation, but on commitment. Motivation fades, discipline stays. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is spiritual. It's the voice that says, keep going. Even when no one claps, even when it's hard, even when you can't yet see the result. That voice is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. When you embrace discipline in the dark, you stop needing validation to move forward. You start doing things for purpose, not for praise. You realize that greatness isn't about being seen. It's about being prepared, and preparation happens away from the crowd. The dark isn't your enemy, it's your training ground. It's where you sharpen your skills, strengthen your heart, and prove your dedication. So if no one's noticing your effort right now, don't be discouraged. Keep building, keep pushing, keep working in silence. Because the day will come when everything you practiced privately will echo publicly. The light will reveal what the dark helped you create. And when that moment comes, you won't just be ready, you'll be unstoppable. A mindset of daily growth is one of the most powerful attitudes you can develop. It means waking up every morning with the determination to become a little better than you were yesterday. It's not about competing with others, it's about competing with who you were before. Each day gives you a new chance to learn, improve, and grow, no matter how small the progress may seem. The secret to lasting success lies in the simple decision to grow daily, to approach life not as something to endure, but as something to evolve through. Growth begins in the mind. Before your circumstances change, your thinking has to change. When you start believing that every day holds potential, even the hard ones, you shift from frustration to focus. You stop wasting energy on what you can't control and start investing in what you can improve. That mindset turns ordinary days into opportunities. You may not see massive results overnight, but over time, daily effort compounds into transformation. The person who chooses to grow a little each day becomes unrecognizable in a year. The truth is, growth doesn't happen automatically. It happens intentionally. You have to choose it. You have to decide that no day will go to waste, that every experience, win or loss, will teach you something valuable. Even failure becomes useful when you view it through the lens of growth. Every mistake shows you what to improve. Every obstacle strengthens your resilience. When you adopt this mindset, you no longer fear challenges, you welcome them, because they stretch you into a stronger version of yourself. A daily growth mind, it also keeps you humble. It reminds you that no matter how much you achieve, there's always more to learn, more to refine, more to give. It shifts your focus from being perfect to being purposeful. You start to realize that progress isn't always visible. Sometimes it's internal. It's in the patience you gain, the self-control you build, the kindness you show, or the discipline you maintain. These inner victories often matter more than the external ones. Growth requires consistency. You can't grow if you're only committed when it's convenient. It's the everyday effort, the reading, practicing, reflecting, and improving, that shapes your future. 1% progress each day might not feel exciting, but it's unstoppable when maintained. Every time you choose to grow instead of staying the same, you are building momentum. And momentum creates breakthroughs. What starts as small daily habits becomes a lifestyle of excellence over time. To grow daily, you must also protect your mindset. The thoughts you entertain become the seeds of your future. If you keep telling yourself, "I can't," you'll never try, but if you start saying, "I'm learning, I'm improving, or I'm growing," you shift your entire identity toward progress. The mind leads and the body follows. A growth mindset turns limitations into lessons and setbacks into setups for something better. The beauty of daily growth is that it doesn't require perfection. Some days you'll move forward with strength, other days you'll barely crawl. But as long as you keep moving, you're still growing. The key is not to stop. Even the smallest step forward counts. The person who grows every day becomes wiser, stronger, and more prepared for life's challenges. Every sunrise brings a new opportunity to begin again. Yesterday's mistakes don't define you. Today's choices do. You can't change the past, but you can change your direction right now. Growth is a daily decision, not a one-time event. It's built through learning, reflection, and consistent effort. If you wake up each day with the mindset to grow, to be more disciplined, more grateful, more patient, more focused. Your life will naturally elevate. Because when you grow every day, your potential has no limit and your future has no ceiling. The power of compounding effort is one of the greatest forces for transformation in life. Every small action you take, every step forward, every moment of discipline builds on the last, creating a chain reaction that multiplies over time. It's not the one big decision that changes your life. It's the hundreds of small, consistent ones that compound quietly behind the scenes. What feels insignificant today becomes monumental tomorrow. Just like compound interest grows wealth little by little until it explodes into abundance, compounding effort grows success through steady and persistent action. At first, the results are invisible. You may work for weeks, months, or even years without seeing much change. That's why most people quit. They mistake slow progress for no progress. But compounding doesn't work on visible results. It works on accumulated effort. Each small act, each repetition, each day of showing up adds another layer of strength, knowledge, and skill. You don't see it happening, but it's happening beneath the surface, building momentum that will eventually become unstoppable. Think of a tree. When it's first planted, nothing seems to happen. You water it daily, protect it from storms, and still see no visible growth for a long time. But underground, roots are spreading, strengthening, preparing to sustain a massive tree. Then one day, it breaks through the soil, and growth becomes visible. The same is true for your efforts. Your consistency, your patience, your daily grind, all of it compounds into results that will eventually become impossible to ignore. Compounding effort doesn't demand perfection. It demands persistence. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to keep doing something every day. Read one more page, learn one more skill, give one more hour, make one more call, take one more step. Over time, those small actions accumulate into mastery. The difference between success and stagnation isn't usually talent. It's persistence. Ordinary people achieve extraordinary results when they refuse to stop doing small things that matter. Momentum is the magic that compounding creates. Once you've built it, everything starts to move faster. The same effort that once felt heavy begins to feel natural. You start seeing connections, gaining confidence, and moving with rhythm. But momentum doesn't appear overnight. It's earned through consistency. The first steps are always the hardest because they demand faith. The faith to believe that what you're doing matters, even when no one notices yet. The key to unlocking the power of compounding effort is patience. In a world that celebrates instant gratification, patience is a rare strength. But nothing great is ever built instantly. The greatest achievements, whether in business, art, health, or personal growth, are all results of compounding effort over time. When you understand this truth, you stop chasing quick wins and start investing in long-term growth. Every day you stay disciplined. Every time you give your best, you're adding value to your future. It's also important to realize that compounding works both ways. Positive actions compound into success, but negative ones compound into regret. Skipping small disciplines, making excuses, and wasting time may not hurt today, but their effect builds up over time too. Just as small progress leads to greatness, small neglect leads to decline. The difference lies in your daily choices, whether you invest in your growth or spend your potential. The real reward of compounding effort is not just success, it's transformation. It changes who you are. It teaches you that greatness isn't built in a moment of brilliance, but in a lifetime of steady effort. When you finally reach the point where the results start showing, you realize it wasn't luck. It was the accumulation of thousands of quiet, unseen, intentional decisions. That's the true power of compounding effort. It turns the ordinary into the extraordinary through time, patience, and relentless consistency.